Alright, I think I finally discovered my favorite build. I'm not saying it's the strongest build, but it is pretty good. And it's a little bit different from what you're normally running. For those who've seen my pistol build, it's kind of similar to that one. But this time, it's actually rocking the SMG. And you might probably already be aware that SMG struggles a little bit of ammo. But it is usually fine if you run around, and this build is literally focused about running around. And you don't need to like focus killing enemies too hard. It will just straight up work. You don't need to do any marking and whatever. It's slightly complex to build, but not too crazy. The pistol build was a bit more annoying. This one is actually kind of fun. We're rocking the Ziv Commando because, first of all, it is my favorite SMG, and I just believe it is the best SMG, even though it has the lowest armor penetration of 0.8, aka 0. But it's just very stable. It feels like a laser. You can hip fire from it. You don't need to aim. You can aim if you want to, but you don't need to. Secondary weapon, I'm just using a silent pistol. I'm considering trying out the Justicar for the bulldozers, because the Ziv Commando, it can one mag the dozer, but it's kind of tight. You need to hit the head with the full mag. So I'm considering running the Justicar to see how it works. Or maybe even some kind of other pistol that might be strong enough to kill a bulldozer. But yeah, it is still quite alright actually. Like, even if you don't just one-shot the bulldozer with a mag, it's still quite alright because you're crazy tanky. And the bulldozers are not really breaching through your health that easily. Overkill weapon once against the bat. You can use whatever you like actually, it really doesn't matter. I just felt like this is a good kind of a thing to use whenever you're out of ammo. You can just swing the bat and get some ammo back. And we have the specialist frame once again. It's actually better, I felt like, than running single plate. I was testing out single plate with the reduced plate regen, but specialist frame was more than fine. Again, the speed penalty doesn't apply here, even though it says it does have a speed penalty of light. The main thing really just is, it's like, you have like the second kind of armor shield thing, which just keeps you alive for a little longer. Highly recommend running 2 resistant plates, by the way. Don't run anything else than that, because it's just going to reduce your downs, which will have an impact on your resistance eventually, which we'll get to in just a second. We're using the throwing knives. You have to, because this build is around throwing knives, which will give you adrenaline and just one-shot enemies. We use the medic bag because we're kind of stacked on the medic bag, and it's just probably the best deployable to use at the moment, and the tool doesn't matter, just use whatever. So once again, we're going up the soldier tree. We're actually going back to sort of like the normal route, because the skill points here happen to align a little better than on a pistol build. So we went with extra protection, and this kind of just helps ace out for our resistant plates, so we tank a little bit more damage in case it actually ever gets to our armor. We have armored up, not really care about it too much, it's literally just to get a little bit more resistance in, plus it is required to unlock tier 3, because you need 5 skills. Head guard, because it just helps with the regen time of your armor in case you actually do get damaged. Beast of burden aids, because obviously quality of life. Passion, obviously quality of life. And scavenger for just that little extra 2% chance to restore a throwing knife whenever we pick up our boxes. Then we have the ninja, which is the most important tree. And as you can see, I really didn't spec too much into the special ops tree, because it's just not needed. What is required, in my opinion, is SMG Adapt Ace, because it's reducing the spread a lot, and it really, really helps. Multitasker, I guess I did go for it, since I didn't really care too much about headshotting the enemies anymore, because we just have knives. So staggering them, I guess, it helps in a way. It's kind of up to you, you can run stockpile if you want. Cracked is the only mandatory SMG skill, because that's the only one that's really boosting your damage enough that you actually feel a difference. You don't need SMGenius, you don't need steady hands, these are kind of pointless. And then we have Dodge This, which gives us a 2% chance for every skill that we have equipped. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10% right off the bat. And with On The Run we just get another 15%, so we're at 25% immediately. And we have it ace because it feels so incredibly nice being able to run around sliding stuff with SMGs and just reloading them and shooting them. It's so nice. It's such a great quality of life for SMGs. The thing here is obviously it's broken, so expect that potentially it's going to break on you, that you are no longer going to be able to reload, in which case you can't do anything about it for the end of the heist unless you rejoin. We obviously also have flow state. This gives us a bit more damage, sorry, not damage reduction, dodge chance I mean, for every time we do get hit. And under pressure for that passive healing in case we do actually take health damage. And also to boost the dodge chance, of course. Then in Conman, I actually got rid of pain tolerance aced. It really didn't feel like it was necessary to use. Instead, I went with prison shift aced, because that gives us the throwing knives back a lot faster. It's literally basically just 3 kills and you get them back. And we have a bunch of stuff into the doctor bags for reviving stuff, which gives us immunity, which once again works with pain tolerance really well, because if you revive people you get adrenaline. And obviously hidden blade, so whenever we actually one-hit an enemy by meleeing them, we do get some adrenaline with pain tolerance as well. And finally strong arm ace to actually get rid of the heavy bags movement penalty speed. For some reason this feels not quite 100% right. I'm not sure, something is a little off of it. I can't really pinpoint it. But yeah, this is kind of like everything that you get. It has all the quality of life features that you kind of need in this build. Obviously we would love to have, I guess, some kind of like radio star for some stealth part, or like locksmith would be kind of nice too. Just one pick all the different lockbox thingies, but I felt under the pressure it's just a little better for the restoring of 2 HP in case you get health damage. Maybe I'm actually going to swap this to locksmith, because this might actually be a kind of good idea to just have this additional little bit of quality of life for faster clearing through the maps, I guess. But yeah, it's, in my opinion, a really surprisingly good build. You have damage resistance against your adrenaline, you have damage resistance against your armor, you have dodge chance against everything, which is just completely insane. It is really tough that you actually get down with this build. And it's kind of really fun to play, because you just shoot a couple cops, then you melee them, then you shoot them again, you melee them. It's kind of funny to play. One side note, I guess, I did actually try using multitasker aced, but I felt it's just terrible. Because if you actually manage to empty out your mag and then you hidden blade melee an enemy, you still reload that weapon even though it's fully like magged. So it's kind of weird. I really just feel like multitask is just a terrible skill for the SMGs if you ace it out. But yeah, that's it. I hope you have fun with this, and bye bye.